Whew. I never thought that I would make a video regarding PewDiePie. Anything at all PewDiePie related. But we're living in a really strange time where jokes, off-color jokes, can get you accused of being an anti-Semitic, fascist, Nazi, racist piece of garbage. Now, I'm sure most of you already know about this because it's been absolutely everywhere. But I just wanted to touch upon it a little bit because there are a few things about this that are really troubling to me. Now, one is the media and their blatant misrepresentation of PewDiePie's videos. They went through his content and cherry-picked 9 instances of Nazi-related humor and imagery in order to paint him as some sort of Nazi racist. And to me, that's something that people should be very concerned about, because the media is where you go for the news, to find out what's going on in the world around you, to find out the truth. Journalists are supposed to gather the facts, and then, based on those facts, report to you exactly what is going on. If a journalist is taking the facts, warping them to fit a narrative that they want to spin, and then putting that out to the masses, that's a problem. Because rather than striving to give us the objective truth, instead what they're doing is using the platform that they have in order to sway the public's opinion. And from what I understand of the situation, the journalists in question are actually proud of themselves for getting PewDiePie removed from Disney and Maker Studios. The bar for heroism has been set so low that these guys think that they've done something wonderful for the world by trying to destroy someone's career for telling jokes that they disagreed with. And I say tried to destroy because in spite of all their heroic efforts, PewDiePie has mostly gained more support. The idea that you are a Nazi or a racist just for making a crude joke is absurd. Jokes do not mean you endorse an idea. In fact, most of the time, the joke is made to show just how extreme that particular thought process or ideology is. Something that I found entertaining was that one of the writers of the article on Twitter uses a South Park character as an avatar. Now, South Park is the modern king of making Jew jokes, so if PewDiePie is a Nazi for making references and that kind of humor 9 times, then what does that make South Park? They must be the actual Nazi party, which of course isn't true, but it's just interesting how they don't go after them for that type of humor, which leads me to believe it's less about the actual humor and more about creating outrage and creating a target to aim that outrage at. Unfortunately, they decided to try and demonize the most subscribed to person on YouTube. It appears they have massively underestimated the influence a YouTube personality can have, and are rightfully on the end of a lot of criticism, but rather than admitting they were wrong, they have so far doubled down on their narrative. This is the problem with perpetually moving the bar for what constitutes as a Nazi. You're making the word just mean someone who makes offensive jokes that I disagree with, rather than genocidal maniac who is actively trying to cleanse the world of all non-whites. This is a consequence of giving words too much power. They decided that these labels are automatic battle winners because in their own minds, words are violence and need to be silenced if they don't speak the right narrative. However, for everyone else on Earth that isn't out of their minds, words are a tool for open discussion and a way to understand each other on a deeper level. Trying to make a power play with labels and remove someone's humanity so that you can dismiss them is one of the worst things you can do. When people feel they cannot be heard, that can lead to extremism, which, ironically enough, is the very thing they claim to want to stamp out. People complaining about jokes normalizing hate are actually guilty of this themselves, because when you conflate a joke with hatred, you're the one normalizing hate by blurring the lines between the two. You are free to find a joke offensive and in poor taste, but you don't have the right to take someone's freedom to make that joke. Context matters. Context sets the stage for the manner in which an idea is presented. So, ignoring context is ignoring a fundamental basis of communication, and rather than being upset with someone for making an offensive joke, which is nothing new under the sun, people should be bothered that the outlets which they get their news from see fit to warp reality to spin an agenda. They are openly slandering people and throwing out accusations of anti Semitism and white supremacy. They're pointing to the fact that white supremacists support him, as though that makes him more evil, but the reality of the situation is that you cannot control who supports you. People that hold those beliefs, they're going to hold those views regardless of whether or not they find someone who agrees with them. 53 million people subscribe to this guy. There's bound to be a few awful people in there just by sheer numbers alone. All a person can do is disavow these ideologies, but they can't force anyone to stop supporting them, because support is simply a frame of mind in the mind of another individual. You should be concerned when a mere accusation of a label can lead to an attempt at ruining your life, because eventually it could be you on the receiving end. Thanks for watching.
I'm the only